And welcome everyone to the Man Cave. My name is Paul Knapp, and I will be your host for this evening's show. Tonight is episode number 30, the big 3-0. And waiting in the green room is our special guest, Mr. Terry Lee Stair, aka Santa Claus at Christmas. And Mr. Terry Lee is going to be talking to us about his Facebook group as well as his YouTube channel. Quick shout out to my buddy Will at William at Toy and Hobby. He just went over 500. So awesome, dude. Way to go. I always like to give out a few channel plugs before we get started. Tonight, G.I. Joe Berg. If any of you guys are already subscribed to them, please do so. And Toy Soldier Nostalgia. So we already got some people chiming in on. Can you guys see the chats on the side?
Yep.
All right, as long as you guys can see them. So just keep me on track there, Angelo, because we don't want to happen what happened 2 weeks ago.
We'll try. Yep.
As always, I want to thank a few of my new subscribers. 3 of my newest subscribers this week: Brian Gidney, Terrence St. John, and the Night Commander. The Night Commander. Next week, our episode will be number 31, and we will have Terrell Ashby. I guess, Angelo, you know that guy? Angelo?
I think so. I think he's almost like a neighbor. Yep. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yep. So.
Okay.
So here's what's going to happen. I'm going to do things like this, guys. So you'll see people that are chatting in. We're going to pop them in one at a time. So, Play Scale Soldier. Glad you could join us. Tim's got the night off. He's joining us from Washington State, I believe. Access Films is with us. Haven't seen Access Films in a while. How you guys doing tonight? So, all right, I'm going to bring our panel of guests in. I'm going to bring this guy in first because he hasn't been here since episode 4 or 5. I don't know, one of the early ones.
It was a while, yeah.
Mark, how you doing tonight, sir?
I'm doing great, Paul. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, buddy. You're no longer a special guest. You're a panel member now. So
that's great.
How's it feel to be moving up in the ranks there? You know, you got.
Hey, I feel overwhelmed.
You got status now, bro.
That's right.
Anything new in the zoo with you, bro?
You know, picking up a few things here and there. School started back, so that kind of takes up all my time being a teacher. Yep. But you know, we always find a few things here. You know, start pulling stuff out of the closet, and you know, always something to work on, something to tinker on. So it's been good. We have 2 groups I admin with, G.I. Joe by Hasbro, 1964 to 1976, with a couple of good bros, and then G.I. Joe the military years. So that keeps us busy too. We always got something going on.
First question's for you right there, Mark. Can you read that? He says, do you have a YouTube channel, Mark?
Yeah, I do not. I probably should, but no, I don't. Not yet.
You're on all those Facebook channels.
Yeah, we don't have. We haven't done a YouTube channel yet. We've kind of talked about it, but not yet.
No. All right, let's move over to. We're moving to Texas now. How is the weather down there, Mr. Jim Egner?
Oh, it's balmy. we actually saw some rain. I forgot what it looked like. It's been so long.
Wow. So anything new in the 3D printing area for you?
Yeah, I'm going to throw something here. It's the wrong color, so don't let that throw you off. Does anybody recognize that?
That's dynamite. That's a little thing of dynamite. No?
Yeah, it's Where Eagles Dare, the little explosive charges they used in that movie. I don't know if anybody remembers that or not. One of my favorite films.
Yeah. Oh, I love that movie.
So, doing that. This is the the jet engine for the Avenger Pursuit craft. Y'all know I've been working on basically rebuilding a bunch of the parts off of it. Let's see. I recognize that.
Looks like a Vietnamese hat.
Yeah, I think they call it a coolie hat or something.
Yeah.
That one's for Greg. This is kind of a new one I'm working on.
Flamethrower.
Flamethrower with that, and the The
Yep, the gun part. Yep.
gun part. Yeah. And let's see. Last one is this one. I keep playing with
you got the radio box, man.
Yeah, the radio box with all the guts.
How you gonna wire that thing up, man? You gonna put something in it, or?
Hadn't decided yet. So
Yeah.
that just dealing with a lot of family issues here recently, so I haven't had a lot of development time. I am still working on the wing section for the APC. That's a big print, so I've got to kind of do it in pieces, make sure all the parts fit together correctly, and then once it all, I'm satisfied with that. Oh, and one last thing. I know Robert's not on the show tonight. He had asked, I think I showed this last time, he'd asked for a mat table with the drawers that open up. So kind of playing around with the colors on that. And the last thing is, I don't know if you know Frank May or not. Anybody know Frank May?
I don't believe so.
He's a collector. He sent me this. Can you tell what that is?
That's for the
Panther
plane,
jet.
right?
This is the screen's broken, but I'm going to see if I can recreate that. So
you're still working on that cleared plastic stuff, huh?
Yeah, clear is is kind of a challenge, and so that's going to be a real challenge, but it's going to be fun. So that's really all it for me.
Right on. Moving to New York. How's the weather in New York, sir? Angelo, Annabelle.
I think Texas decided to send up some of the heat.
Yep.
So
trying to get rid of it.
Yeah. So we're in the 90s today and tomorrow and the next couple of days. So school's going to start up again. So no AC at school. So we want to cook the children. That's what's happening here up in New York. But I've been busy. I don't know if you guys seen. I've been blowing up the YouTube with a lot of my shorts. Paul's like, stop doing the long videos, man. Put on a short. And I'm like, how the hell do you do that? So I had to learn how to put on some shorts, and apparently I learned how to do that. So I've been actually putting those up left and right. I did a great photo shoot, I thought, over at the local Kelly Park with my Bigfoot. It's going to be one of my Bigfoot photo shoots. It's going to be out pretty soon. That's something. I did a Bigfoot box set. So if some of you seen that one, today I posted. It was a little motorized robot-looking moon buggy or something. I found it at a used toy store, and it moves by itself. And every time it hits a wall, it backs up and it beeps and stuff. And I thought that was pretty neat. And then last week, I had in one of my big pet tents this cool.
Yeah, that looked neat.
Yeah, and my son actually knew where it came from because I had no idea. He said, Dad, that's a Gundam something or other from Japan. And I said, I don't know what the Gundam something or other is. So I actually looked it up, and they go for $70+ a piece. It's a model kit you actually put together. Where I found it, I have no idea. So, and you guys, if you've seen all my wilderness Joes,
the outdoorsy guys, those were cool.
Yeah, flannel shirts and stuff.
I still want to know where you got that cooler from, man. That looked cool. Hey, Jim Egner, do you see this chat? I think that's for you, brother.
Oh, yeah, Logic Blaster. Yeah, I'm getting close.
And then this is part of something else that I purchased at that used toy store.
I can't see what that is.
Yeah, and I have plans for this, and it comes with something much larger. So hopefully I'll showcase that in another couple days. So
nice.
That's what's happening up here. Busy.
Big Boss Jack chimed in and said, "Look at those Joes." I said, "Yeah, you want to explain where you're at right now? You're not at the kitchen table tonight."
Paul makes fun of me because he says they keep me in the closet. So I says, "This is where I am today. I'm in the closet." This is my Joe. I have my Joe room. My man cave is actually my man attic. I have a 24 by 20 room that when we put an addition onto the house, my wife said you have too much shit. So she said you can have the upstairs and I can have the downstairs. So she has the TV room with a fireplace, and I have a walk-in closet with all of my Joes here. I have some cryptid scary monsters up top. It goes forward and back with more. And then the other room is where I have all my dioramas. And, there's quite a lot of stuff up here.
Very cool. Hey, Jim Egner, do you see this chat? I think that's for you, brother.
And then this is part of something else that I purchased at that used toy store. And then
And we have one more person on the panel tonight. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of this individual here. Oh, where'd he go?
Oh, is my camera not working
It's
again?
not there, man. Dude, you're black.
I got to continue the streak, I
It's a
guess.
shadow at midnight.
Dude, log in
you
and log back out. Hurry up.
All right.
Oh, shit, man.
I could talk
I
some
had him
more.
all lined up, man. He was ready to go, man. He was ready to go.
That was perfect.
Must be that weather in New York, man, because he's in New York too, I believe, right?
Is he? I didn't.
It's either New Jersey or New York. Yeah, he's up there.
Okay.
So, well, let's say hi to everybody in the chat room tonight. I got GIAs with us from Canada, and Tim from Washington State, and the big boss Jack. Let's see if he's in. There he is.
There he is. Quick.
Peter, you with us? Shake your hand. Hey, all right. This is some new guy. He was on episode 1, I think, the very first one, and
Yes.
then never came back.
Nope.
You
This is-
scared him off.
This is Peter Buckley from the Skull Reviews, everybody. Woo!
How you guys doing? Great to
He's
finally
up
be
to,
on.
last I checked, I think you're up to 4,000 subscribers, man. You're like way out of our league now, dude.
Yeah, well, once in a while I got to come down and, visit the little people.
Say hello to us lowly people.
Peter, where are you from, Peter?
New York.
Are you whereabouts in New York?
I'm on Long Island.
Okay.
In
Downstate.
Lindenhurst.
Okay, because I'm upstate, so I didn't know that.
Yep. We're neighbors.
Yes, we are.
So what's new in your zoo, Peter?
Not a whole lot. I haven't been buying a lot, but I still continuing the 3D printing. Still need to learn how to design, but pretty much just hitting up Thingiverse, resizing stuff. So I've been printing some stuff. This is probably one of the bigger things. It's
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's very nice.
Dude, that's cool. Does it
Very
float?
cool.
Does it float?
It does float. I have tested it actually.
Nice.
So I did that. Mostly a lot of little stuff. Did this new little Pelican case. Figure you put like a handgun in it or something.
Oh, that's nice.
Done a few of the crates, G.I. Joe crates.
Yep.
Yep.
I bought a green one from you.
Yes, you did, and you bought the
Yes,
couple
I
of these
did.
guys here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Now, Peter, you selling those aliens? One might need to make it up north here.
Yeah, I'll get one up to you.
Well, I don't. No, you don't have to do that. Just tell me how. Let me know if you sell them and whatnot. So.
You got it. I'll hit you up right after the show.
All right, brother.
And just been experimenting trying to do shoes because don't we all need shoes for our Joes?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Are they hard plastic or is it like the resin?
They are hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're a hard plastic. I know you can get, and Jim's probably the expert on this. I believe it's called TPU
Yep.
filament, which is the one that's more flexible. I got to pick that up and give that a shot.
Yeah, there's a couple of options for you there. There's a company that actually makes flexible PLA, and it's squishy enough. It's about like the short black boots, the Adventure Team short black boots. It's about that hardness, so it'd be near perfect. The shoe idea is a great idea. You should exploit that.
Yeah. Well, it is the flexible because this hard plastic doesn't really, unless you got it the exact right size, it doesn't really want to go on the foot, and I don't want to get them stuck in there. So
Yeah.
I've actually, I've been working on getting the size. This is smaller. This is a little bigger. Getting close, but not there yet. But that's pretty much it for me so far.
Very cool.
That's what's new
Very
in the
cool.
zoo.
Very
I'm
cool.
just glad to have you back, and you got an internet tonight. So hopefully your screen,
I'm glad to be on.
hopefully your screen won't go
Awesome
black
to be
again
with
on
you.
us. So
Give it another 10 minutes.
just keep logging out, logging back in. Yeah.
Yeah. You get there one way or another.
All right, guys, I think it's time to bring in our special guest for tonight. It's about 15 minutes into the show, like I always do. Again, we have Mr. Terry Lee Stair. You guys can call him Santa Claus if you like. I think he wouldn't mind that tonight. How you doing, Stir?
I'm okay.
Can you hear us? Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
All right. Glad you could join us tonight.
I saw the internet go in and out. I hope it's not mine.
No, you're coming in clear.
Okay.
So where are you from? Where are you hailing from? The state of?
I'm from the middle of Georgia, the
Middle
heart
of
of Georgia.
See, they got internet down there in Georgia. So, I mean, you guys in New York should have any problem. They got it in Georgia, you know? So, well, I was just glad to have you. I know you know Mark.
Yeah.
And you may or may not have bought some stuff from Jim Egner or
Yes, I think I have.
or Peter, yeah. And
I
Angela's
bought-
friends
I
with
bought
you.
a Fort Apache horse from Jim, I believe.
Oh, no, that's
Or Brad
no,
Curry.
no, that probably was Brad.
I think
Okay.
Brad Curry's selling
We
those
get
things.
confused.
Yeah, I bought so much. I just get it all mixed up, you know.
Very cool. Very cool.
And Angelo, you guys are friends on Facebook, right?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
Terry,
So,
Terry's the one who hooks everyone up with that awesome calendar. So it's one of the things I want Terry to talk about a little bit as we get into our questioning.
yeah, absolutely. You want to ask the first question? I mean, we don't have to go in my order. We can go
All right.
anywhere.
Well, Terry, I know Paul probably going to get into how long you've been collecting and all that, but one of the things I really, really enjoy what Terry does, he goes out of his way to produce this calendar every year for the Joe brothers, and he asks for people to send pictures to him. So I would, instead of me talk, Terry, can you tell us a little bit about the calendar, how it goes about, how can you get to be part of the calendar? Because I think it would be really neat for more and more people to show interest in that.
Well, a few years ago, I am not a vintage collector. I don't have anything against vintage, but I'm not a vintage collector. And a few years ago, I posted one of my action figures on a vintage site, and that broke the rules.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh, we
So they
lost
kicked
him.
me out.
Ah, there he is.
Got together, and we created the G.I. Joe Army on Facebook, which it's a private group, so you'd have to send me a message if you want to become part of it. In that group, there's a lot of good talent. And so what I did is I asked them, I said, how about us putting together a calendar? And Randall Wall, who's up in Canada, he's a graphic artist, and he's made the calendar for a cover for us every year. And then the other members of the group, they submit pictures, and then we put together 12 pictures for the year and sell them to, any member of the group that wants a calendar for that coming year.
Very cool.
I think
I had no idea.
I got one, Terry. I got the latest. If you want to show it, if you want me to show.
Yeah, go ahead and show it, please.
All right,
show it.
Paul, you want to put me up here?
Yeah. You still got to flip your camera so it's not
Everybody's backwards. Yeah.
mirror.
Yeah, and there's my picture.
Oh, you made it to the calendar.
Oh, you made it. Oh, okay.
I made it into the calendar. I'm special.
What?
Yeah, but it's really awesome for each month. There's pictures. This is the cover photo, Randall Wall. So that's the cover photo, but it's really beautifully done. Bound, spiral bound. So
Oh,
I
very
know
nice.
you can't see it backwards. Sorry, guys.
No.
Well, yeah. So Terry, are you going to do this again this year?
Oh, yes. And I'm going to try to start early. So I'll be probably getting a message out in a few days telling everybody that wants to be in it to send me a picture. And, what I do is I ask the guys that want to be in the calendar, and this may sound cheesy, but I ask them, if you want to be in the calendar, at least buy one. And that guarantees them, a spot in the calendar. And last year, sadly, I think everybody was just busy, and maybe some people just missed the deadline. But, we didn't have 12 last year, so I had to pick from some extra pictures that I already had and use them. But I'd like to have, 12 this year from the group. And I always ask them to, to make something brand new. Let's not do something that you've done before, so that when it premieres, it's brand new and it looks real fresh and it's
I
up
froze
to
up.
date.
Oh, there you go.
So
there?
Terry.
So it is me, huh?
Every once
Well,
in a
yours
while.
is Peter looks frozen too right now. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yep. Let me go back out and go back in again.
So Terry, let me ask you this. Now you say you're with the 12 people. Now that you're a big shot on the Paul Knapp show, you're gonna get so much interest this year
Exactly,
that you're
man.
gonna end up with 24 people.
I don't know if you're going to make enough calendars. You're not going to have enough calendars.
Would there be a way, to split the page to have then 2 pictures?
We can look I can look into that. Yeah, I can look into that.
I'm just thinking, because if you do get more interest, and I really hope by having you on, the show that will help promote it and get it out there, because I think it would be neat. And there's so much, like you said, there's so much talent out there, and people are taking pictures all the time. And we want to showcase the pictures as soon as we take them. But, there's always that save that one, so then you can showcase it during the calendar.
Yeah. I think you sent me yours first last year. Yours was first, and it was really amazing. Now, I have a couple of guys in there. I won't focus on any one of them, but I have a couple of guys in there that's one of their highlights of the year. Is they make a picture just for the calendar. Until maybe at a later time,
And I think Jim could, what he could do, he can pose a G.I. Joe building something on the 3D printer. And it would be one of the first, and it would be the first time revealed in the calendar.
Yeah.
Oh, I know where you're going with that, Angelo. That monotrack thing. Yeah.
Peter and Brad Curry are already thinking the same thing.
that question right there, I was kicked out of the vintage group because I did not have a vintage Joe. So no, the answer would be no. It does not have to be vintage. It can be anything. There was during COVID, Stovall had a contest where it was the craziest custom that you could create. This was the winner during COVID. This alien right here that I put together. So, I'm not a custom guy. I'm not a vintage guy. Whatever you like, whatever you're doing, that's what makes your boat float, and I like it.
Yep.
Cool.
I hear you, Terry. That's cool. I do the same thing. I have very, very little, very few vintage. I missed out in the heyday of the vintage Joes. I have some Adventure Team. I have some vintage, but most of it is reproduction, so I can get outside and play.
Right.
And then I don't feel bad if I do change them up or add things to them, or it's a lot of fun. And I know that you did. You've done like a caveman. There's the bear.
Yeah, there's the bear.
There's the bear.
Cool bear.
Cool.
I noticed he was on my shelf last night when you said that the bear didn't come with the set.
Yeah, Amazon has it for $17.99, I think.
Okay, cool.
Well,
this was a custom that I did, and my name is Stair, so it's Stairway Customs, right there at the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Randall Wall did the cover, and this is Shayla, and people didn't like it because I'm a preacher, and they said, what do you got a naked woman on? But she's not naked. She's wearing clothes. But these were hand sewn by a creator that does amazing sewing. And, there were only 10 of them made, and they all sold immediately. But that was one of my creations right there.
Wow. Very cool. I like that other one that's how I discovered you, was that monkey. That's one I was going to ask. I was going to ask you if you had any one of those.
Greg Arturo, who worked with Hasbro, this was one of the sets that he wanted to produce, and Hasbro never did it. So him and I worked together, and we produced it. And this was the finished product right here. Well, I'm dropping everything. Excuse me. But these are all hand sewn.
Wow.
This is hand sewn.
That's cool.
And it was really nice. And they sold out immediately too. And it came with
that's right up your alley for the post-apocalypse thing,
it came with the monkey.
It
came with the monkey. And the only difference between our monkey and your monkey, Paul, was ours had two red eyes.
Yeah. Were they like rubies or something you put
They
in
were
there?
little rubies that were glued in there.
I was wondering how you guys did that. That looked cool. That looked real cool, man.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey, Mark, you got a question for this guy or?
Well,
Anything?
the first time I ever met Terry was, being retired law enforcement. I do a lot of law enforcement customs,
Uh-huh.
and all of a sudden, the Chicago PD figure pops up. That's what I bought from Terry. I mean, a couple
Oh,
of
really?
years ago, first time I ever met him,
Wow.
and I bought that, customized it, and yeah, he sent it right out to me. So,
The thing I like about the Chicago PD figure is it had the patch that was a real Chicago PD patch,
Yep.
and it had the hat with the checkers.
Yep.
I love that, man. You can't find that stuff, you know.
You can't, and I have to make it, or you have to know people who are making them, and
Right.
I made my own mini me, from my career, and Chuck Van Voorhees made custom boxes for me. So, I'm a vintage guy, but I love to tinker, and I'm not real good at it, but I'm getting better. But I make my own patches. Paul Macias makes a lot of patches for me. He makes some really nice stuff. So, yeah, I know.
Sergeant Van has some good artwork, man.
Yeah, he does.
I can't remember the guy that used to do the patches. He made this for the 50th. Let me get my beard out of the way. He made this for the 50th. I was one of the Dirty Dozen at Joe Atlanta, and we got this shirt. I went to Joe Atlanta and got this shirt.
That's a great shirt.
That's awesome, man.
There was only 12 of us that year. Now, I think he later sold some more, but at the show, there were only 12 of us because we were the Dirty Dozen. And he gave us coupons, and we'd go around at the show giving out coupons for people that would go to his site, and 25% off if they bought something from him using that coupon. So we had a lot of fun that year.
Yeah.
Was it Patches of Pride, Terry?
Yeah,
was
Patches of Pride.
Yeah, Patches of Pride.
Cool guy.
That was a great site. It's too bad he's no longer there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, they went out. What was it, like 2-3 years ago, right? That was a bummer.
Yep.
Yeah, I actually have a big article on me. He did on me with in August of 2017 or something. There's a big article I always show my kids at school. It's like, I'm so proud of me.
Yeah, you're famous. He never did one on me. He 2 or 3 times I tried to get him to, and he was nice, but he didn't do me one. But
so Terry, you said you have a Facebook, you have your own Facebook group, the G.I. Joe Army, right?
Yes.
Do you have YouTube? Or do you have a YouTube channel?
Well, I have a Facebook page that anybody can come and join. It's called Toys Mind G.I. Joe Action Figure Toys. It's a long name.
I guess so.
If you just message me, I'll send you the link, and that's a public one. Anybody can join that one. And then my YouTube channel is My Toy Life 5354. My Toy Life.
Oh yeah, I think I subscribed to you recently on that. Yep.
Yeah.
I just subscribed to him too. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm also on TikTok. It's My Toy Life on TikTok. I've got about 3,000 followers on TikTok.
Hey, man.
But it's taken a year and a half to get that. There's not a lot of Joe people on TikTok,
No.
and the ones that are there, like I think Paul is right. They like the short ones.
Yep.
Yeah.
No attention span, man. It's like
No.
15 seconds or less.
Commercial length and you're out. Yeah.
The only video though on TikTok that made me 20,000 views, and that's the highest one I've got. It is when I posted a commercial of the old vintage Mobile Command.
Oh wow.
With the satellite and,
and
that commercial. It wasn't even me. It was just a commercial, but it got 20,000 views.
So speaking of that, Terry, what was your era of G.I. Joe? Like, what did you grow up playing with? Was it like the military era, or was it the adventure team?
I never had a Joe when I was a kid.
Wow.
Never had one. But I had 4 sons. And so in the 80s, when the Little Joes came out, I bought them everything. And my son has every G.I. Joe that I bought him years ago. The other boys, they traded and sold all their Joes to my one son because he's
in and out.
he loves them and he collects them. But we went one day right here in town, and there was a Joe there, a talker, and it was 12-inch vintage, and the guy wanted $10, so I bought him, and that was my first Joe.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Wow.
And now I'm not even going to tell you how many I have. I'm not going to tell you. I'm not.
Your secret's safe with us, man. Don't worry.
No, I don't count. I've lost count. In fact, I was cleaning up in here a few minutes ago before the show, and look what I found. Look what I found when I was cleaning up in here. Let me show you that.
Peter, wave your hand so I know you're still alive.
Okay. Look what I found while I was cleaning up. So I don't know how many Joes I have. I have no idea.
We got Robert from Max.
Nope.
Robert.
I have made a lot of dioramas. You know, my grandson and me, we went to Joe Atlanta, our first one. He was 6 years old, and he took a diorama that he made, and he won. And he won almost every year from that point on until COVID. And his last diorama is still sitting here. It has not ever been entered yet. And he's kind of a little sad about that because he really worked hard on it. But COVID messed everything up. In fact, it's right here behind me. It's that SWAT team right there. I don't know if you can see it. They've got a Humvee there with them and everything.
Your camera's too high. Bring it down.
Too high. Okay.
There. Yep. That's better.
There you go.
Oh, we lost it.
There it is.
Yep. There it is.
Wow.
And it's even got a Humvee in there with a guy on top. That's a SWAT Humvee that he painted with SWAT markings on it, and but it never got entered.
Oh man.
And now he's got girl fever, so he's done with Joe's for a while.
He'll come back.
Yeah, he'll
we
come
all
back.
Come back.
He'll come
we
back.
all come back.
And I think Paul had asked, what was my grail. I don't really have any grails. I was able to pick up this Joe Atlanta, which was one of the ones that I really wanted. I did not get this when it first came out. It's called
Panama Jack.
Panama Jack, and I didn't get it, but I found it one day, and I did purchase it, and so I really love this one. That's one of my favorites. But this one right here, I was able to acquire the box. But
what year was that?
This is 2011. It was the.
Yep.
This is the year me and Mike went, and this figure that year. I have the box, but no figure. So I'm looking for that one. That's one of the things I'm looking for.
Our buddy Adam is with us tonight, and he just texted. He said, "You look like the guy from Mountain Monsters." I'm not sure if that shows. I don't know. Is that a compliment or is that
Well, I play Santa every year. When COVID, I used to be a Santa in the mall.
Yeah.
And then when COVID hit, so I went virtual, and I've been a virtual Santa now. This will be my 4th year as a virtual Santa. And I will visit kids all over the world. Japan, Australia, Germany, England, everywhere.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
It is. It is absolutely amazing.
Andy from Indy's here with us tonight. Hey, how's it going, Andy? Glad you could
Hey,
join us.
Andy. Yeah. Hey, Andy.
We got Action Joe Figs with us too.
You know how we're doing all this right here?
Yeah.
Well, on one of the visits last year, I
Nope.
hate to go from Joe to Santa, but on one of the the little kid wasn't as computer savvy as her mom was. But she said, I don't want to talk to him. She was sitting there in the chair. She said, I don't want to talk to him because he's just somebody on a video. I don't want to talk to him. And she said, if he was the real Santa, he would know where we live. And her mama texted me on the chat the address. And so I told her, I said, your house is white. You live at so-and-so, so-and-so. And she sat up in the chair and she said, it is Santa.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, we got some new people jumping in here. Thanks, guys. We got a good crowd tonight. We got 16 people watching right now. So
good. It's good. So anybody
any other questions for
I think
Terry?
it's
I got a couple questions for Terry, but he keeps jumping ahead, man. He's already
Go
picked
ahead.
out 2 or
Go
3.
ahead.
The Holy Grail. You already beat me on that one, and
Go ahead, man.
you got involved with the Facebook groups. How about this one? How does your wife feel about you collecting? Oh, all of a sudden he froze up. All of a sudden his computer froze.
I only have 2 bookshelves in the house with Joe's in it.
Yeah.
And she didn't collect anything for a long time. But when all my kids finally grew up and moved out, I turned one of the rooms into a tea room. So now she has 150 teapots. So she doesn't she don't complain now. She's got 150 teapots. I can't even go in that room. I told her I built this room for you to be for you to have tea in it, and all I have is teapots everywhere.
That's funny. I think Angelo, his wife has no idea because that's why they're all in the closet. So.
Yeah. Yeah. If
the word got out to your wife, how many G.I. Joes you got in that closet, dude? I think you'd be straight.
They keep
You can
me
tell
up here.
Peter's in
They
his
keep me up
in the
here
bedroom.
watching.
There's no G.I. Joes anywhere. He doesn't have one.
There's not one. Yeah. I got kicked out of all the rooms. So when I started, it was mostly in the basement. I got kind of like a man cave down there.
Yeah.
And my older videos, like when I was collecting the hot toys, I got the DTOS and all of that. And then I started trying to migrate that stuff upstairs, and nope, that got shut down.
Yep. Yeah, every time I start building something new or taking a new photo shoot, something gets left behind downstairs. And, whenever I'm flocking, I do flocking, obviously. I just got 3 heads today, and I was down in the basement. And then there'd be like naked body because I had to put it in the hot water to pop the head off or this, that. And she's like, what the hell? It's all over. It's on the counter. It's, there's things in the pot, and it's not cooking food. It's a G.I. Joe, so yeah, it just happens. They just wander around and they're all over the place.
Yes, I just got a text from Adam. Yes, he does look like the Mountain Man from Mountain Monsters. I had no idea who he's talking about, but
so
I got the picture.
Terry, do you have a new custom that you're working on? Because I know they the last one, was it the radioactive with the monkey one? Was that the last one you did?
Yeah. I've been talking with a couple of people. I may not look it, but I'm 71 years old, and I can't believe that that I am that old, but I am. I kind of feel like 15, but I'm 71, and so because I have so many irons in the fire, and I do, believe it or not, I have things going. I have things for for the church, things for Santa, things for my private life, and then my hobby, my Joe hobby, which really the Joe hobby is what gives me sanity from all of this other stuff that I have to do.
Yeah.
So I've been talking to a couple of people, but we haven't really finalized anything yet. I wish I had something to announce, but I don't.
Okay.
Not right yet.
And when you said about therapy, I think more and more of us can definitely relate to that. I think many of us, getting older, it becomes very therapeutic. And with the one-to-one world, and everything going on in the world, this is our saving grace. This is our gives us the opportunity to just shut the door and shut out all of that other stuff and just focus on
Exactly.
what makes us feel good. And I think that the hobby is that for many people. And I just wish that many more would see that the benefits of having a hobby like this. And it could be, you know, many different things, but what this hobby does and helps people, it's pretty cool.
It
No
is.
doubt. That I
It
tell you,
is.
those 8 days that I was off YouTube, man, I was in depression. You know what I mean? I didn't,
Yeah.
you know, I felt it. I felt it. It was like weird. It was, you know,
Yeah,
you miss
Angelo
it when you don't
Interior-
have it. You know.
Yeah, Angelo and Terry are right about the therapy. You know, I mean, one of the reasons I had to retire from law enforcement was injury. I've had 9 surgeries in 10 years.
Wow.
And one of them
Wow.
cost my left hand until about 3 years ago. And working on the Joes not only works on my muscle, you know, on my fine motor, but like you said, it escapes. You know,
Yeah.
I was involved in a lot of stuff, and to this day,
I'm sure.
I don't have PTSD. You know, I go
Wow.
to sleep. I don't have any ghosts. You know,
Yeah.
God willing, I won't have any. But the therapy of just coming in here, you're surrounded by something that's positive. You know, even though they're all little military guys or adventure guys, you know, it's just
Doesn't matter.
uh,
It's an escape, man. It's an escape.
it is.
You know?
You have to have some escape. You know,
Sure.
and it's just look at all our rooms. You know, you got stuff to turn around and look, and it's all good.
Yeah. It's so funny. Like I have mine in my garage, and then, you know, throughout the year I keep the garage door open. And when I first moved in here, you know, 12 years ago, everybody's like, you know, stay away from the old guy with the toys. You know? and now I get neighbors. Hey, can I bring my kids in? Can I bring my grandkids to see your toy? I'm like, yeah, whatever. Every UPS guy takes pictures, and you know, every
My
FedEx
students
guy
found
stops.
out I was on a YouTube show. They all watched it. Of course,
That's
all the
awesome.
guys I coach with give me heck about it, but I said, hey,
Yeah.
go get a hobby. You know,
Yeah,
That's
get
right.
a hobby.
the kids all watch it. So
Sure.
And with the kids, and what I think it's really important with the kids, you know, I teach 5th graders, so they're still young, but
Yeah.
at that age, 5th grade, they're really impressionable. And the next following year, they go off to middle school, and there's so much more independence and responsibility when the kids get to middle school, and there's so much more pressure that's put on them, and to become young adults too soon, it seems. You know, at 5th grade, they're 10, 11 years old. You're still little kids. I remember, you know, I was still playing with toys. They don't see playing with toys anymore because they see it as babyish. And because of all the pressures, and I talk about this all the time with the kids, I said, we as teachers put pressure on you. Your coaches put pressure, your instructors, everyone, and parents, everyone's putting pressure on you. And I says, and it's like a steam cooker. You have to have some outlet so you don't explode. And I says, whether it's art or whether it's singing or whether, you know, taking the dog for a walk or whatever, find something that can alleviate all of that stress and anxiety. And I think that's part of the problem, what we're seeing with all these young kids today. They don't have that opportunity, those outlets. So I
They
bring
don't
my
play.
figures.
Yeah,
I bring
they
some
don't
of the,
play.
Yeah, they don't play.
figures,
No, they don't play.
the newer figures to school. I have 20 plus figures that I bring every school year for the kids to take home. And I tell them to go outside and play, go get it dirty, create a story, do a photo shoot with them. And you believe it or not, you see, and a lot of them don't come back, and I don't care because
sure.
it's the opportunity for them to engage in that imaginative play. So if I get 2 kids each year that buy in to something like that, I think it's a pretty good thing.
Exactly. I'm also the member of the Sons of the American Revolution.
We lost him again.
And next Tuesday, I will go to one of the elementary schools down here, and I'll be dressed as a patriot. So I'll bring some of my Revolutionary Joes along with me, and you know they'll say, "My goodness, I didn't know they made toys like that. I didn't know they made, you know, Revolutionary soldiers." I'll bring my red coats. I'll bring George Washington. You know, and they'll just stand there and say, "I didn't know they made this stuff." Well, they don't make it anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to move ahead on
But
some of
you
my
know,
questions for you,
it's
Terry.
still out there. You can still. I'm sorry, I did that again, didn't I?
No, you're good. You're good.
I've got. I'm proud of this one here. this one here I'm really proud of that I put together, because this is, a lot of people don't know that blacks fought in the American Revolution.
Yep.
So here's my revolutionary soldier that was African, and
that's great.
I just love being able to not only talk about history, but also talk about my hobby at the same time.
Yeah.
That's got to be a thrill, especially dealing with the younger kids,
Yeah.
as Santa Claus and stuff like that. I mean, that just
it's all
keeps you young, man. Keeps you young.
It keeps you. People say, well, you got to keep your mind active.
Yeah.
Do you know how I go to sleep at night? Yeah. I actually have to go on in my earphone and have the guy read the Bible to me so that I don't hear nothing but the Bible. Because if I try to lay down in the bed, I'm going to be thinking about this. I'll be thinking about that. I'll be thinking about this. I got to put this together. I got to do this. And I can't go to sleep. So I have to have something to distract me from not thinking.
Angelo, you were talking about that too, man. You're like,
oh yeah, it's nonstop. It's
like
nonstop.
A squirrel, man.
It's just the nature of the beast. I'm always thinking, and I got to get better at like putting a pad of paper next to my bed or something, because I come up with the ideas and they're such good ideas. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'll remember in the morning, and I wake up. I'm like, what the hell?
I need to go to Angelo for an idea, because that guy has an imagination that just. It's an amazing imagination. I looked at some of his box sets. My son bought one of your box sets. He loved it. I believe it was one of the ones that
it is the first page. It's the first page of the calendar. It was the one I did for the Thing.
Yes,
to the Thing.
Oh, he loves the Thing, and he loved your set. He said, "Man, Dad, this guy is awesome."
I'm just a little wacky. That's all.
Yeah.
Mr. Ashby's with us tonight. He will be live with us next week. So glad to see that. Thanks for joining us tonight, sir.
Excellent. Yeah, he's
got also just to mention, you got Action Joe Figs in the comments there, and I know he recently just started a YouTube channel, so check him out.
Yep, I already subscribed to him. And he's got some cool stuff. He's going back and doing some of the vintage stuff too, which is nice.
It looks like he's down here in Texas.
Yeah, he mentioned Texas history using his figures in the classroom. And that's one of the things, after hearing Terry talk about the Revolutionary War, seeing that, I would love to be able to be a history teacher and bring all the figures to school.
Oh, yeah.
I think, how cool would that be to have every era and just have all these G.I. Joes with, different uniforms and all. I think that would be so awesome.
That's right.
So I think my daughter was in 4th or 5th grade, and they were studying Roman history. And, I still have the plastic toy soldiers and that on the Roman ships and all that. And I went in over the weekend and set up a big diorama, with the teacher's permission and everything. And the kids came in, and, my daughter was just the hit, because your dad's so cool. Of course, I'm an embarrassment to her, my daughters, but, the kids thought I was
cool. It takes that little spark to get someone to say, oh, wow, that's really actually kind of cool.
Well, we went to a military commissioning. There's a military school here, and we went to their commissioning of their officers. And we were dressed in our revolutionary uniforms. Came up there to these young guys, and we presented one of the cadets that was the highest rated cadet. We presented him with a medal, and they were all going crazy. The president of the college was shaking our hands and making a big deal about it, and my daughter was standing over there, and she said, "That's my dad right over there." So I guess since I became the president of the Sons of the American Revolution, now I'm famous.
That's excellent.
Hey, Mark, when I had you on the channel, I don't know if I asked you this question. Did you have a favorite toy as a child other than the G.I. Joes? Was there anything else in competition or what?
There was a little bit. I mean, I had toy guns, which are now verboten. There's no cops and robbers, cowboys and Indians.
Yeah.
I had a couple Matt Masons. I had Johnny West. I have one I would pull it out here, but it's hard to pick up. I had this thing called Kennedy Airport by Remco. It's this big old huge thing with.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I was in a vintage toy store, walked by, it was $20. It was complete. I mean, I picked the thing up and I was, 10 years old again.
Yeah.
So, played a lot of sports too. So, I was outside, but like Angelo was talking earlier, it was play. I mean, my parents didn't have a ton of money, but G.I. Joe was $3 or $4 at Kmart, and you'd buy all kinds of stuff at Woolworths, and I had
You got the big gift at Christmas, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
I mean, one big
was
gift at Christmas. Yeah.
Yep, it was all good. So yeah, Joe was the one, but I did have some other ones that I always chased after. So
Peter, same question.
Well, yeah, I grew up with G.I. Joe, but if there was something outside of it, there was the Commando figure. I think it was like 1985, 86. And they'd come out with like 3 scales of it. And I remember when we first seen it, I was with my brother and my sister at Toys R Us. And my brother bought it, and I couldn't afford it. So I was super jealous of it. So that Christmas, I had gotten, there was like a giant one that they had made the same version. It was, I think, 16 inches tall.
Yeah.
And that's one of the toys I still have from my childhood.
Really? Very cool.
Big Arnold Schwarzenegger fan.
Yeah.
What about you, Ange? Working my way around.
Well, G.I. Joe was it. It was it. Playing with that. But like Mark was saying, anytime I could get my hands on those plastic weapons that look very real. I mean, I had this AK-47. It was almost the same length and size, and it had wood grain, and it was awesome. And a lot of them were water guns. There was I'm trying to remember the company. They were battery operated. I had like an M16 and one. I had little Mac 10s, and it had a little belt on the side.
Those things were cool.
And we used to, my cousin and I used to dress up, and we would go in the woods, and we would play. And he was a little skinny, tiny, and we would get all face paint on him, and I would take my pictures, and I was taking pictures then. So imagination, that creativity, I started then. I was always taking pictures and doing that. And I did that a lot with the 3 3/4 inch Joes. I had my father's 8mm projector camera, and I did a lot with that. But Mark, what I wanted to say, I said, I just found this. This was one of the old, I think it must be like a Dick Tracy type of cap gun.
Yeah.
It pops open.
Oh yeah.
And I don't know if you heard it just a moment ago it still works.
Damn.
Yeah.
Got the roll caps.
in there,
The
dude.
roll caps.
And those caps.
Love the smell of
Caps
those.
are probably
40-year-old
caps.
Wow.
Jim Egner.
Oh, I was a big $6 Million Man fan, so
$6 Million Man?
that ran a real close second to G.I. Joe. Micronauts.
Yep, I had
I had a
Micronauts,
lot of
yep.
fun with Micronauts. So
Right before Star Wars came out, Micronauts
just
was the thing, man.
had a Star Wars. Yep.
I never had the Fisher Price people, but man, I wish I did. I always looked in the Sears catalog,
There it
man. I
is,
was like,
Jim.
man, I wish I
Yep,
had.
there it is.
There it
Steve
is.
Austin.
Yeah. Steve
Astronaut.
Austin, man.
I
Terry,
never
back
saw
to you.
Austin
How about you,
Astronaut,
man?
actually.
Anything besides G.I. Joe, what about growing up?
You talking about me?
Yeah.
Well, when I was about, I don't know, 7 or 8, my dad did not believe in Christmas. Isn't that funny? And here I am.
You're playing Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Wow. Is there?
So he wouldn't buy us any presents, but my grandma had a little store, and in that store she had Ford Apache, and I knew Dad was not going to buy me the Ford Apache.
Yep.
But I told her, I said, man, I'd love that. I'd love that. And so on Christmas Day, she came over, and my dad, he opened the door, and she said, I got a present for Terry. And he said, no, we're not having no Christmas. She said, get out of my way, boy.
Yelled at her son.
That's right. She
Wow, that's cool.
puts that man out of the way. I'll never forget it. She handed me that. It became my favorite toy of all time. We moved from Pennsylvania, where I was born, to Alabama. And somehow in that move, my dad misplaced that toy.
Oh.
So I only had it for 2 years, and then I lost it. When I was about 30, my kids heard that story growing up. And when I was about 30, my son gave me the exact same Fort Apache. So
Really?
I have it now that my son, bought for me. Because he said, Dad, I wanted you to have the toy that, always meant something to you when you were a kid.
That's
great.
cool.
Paul, do you have the Fort Apache?
I have several different ones. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
You said in your thing, what did we get recently? I picked this up recently.
I saw your video on that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a bank, but it is it's cool. It actually opens, like, you can put mail in it and everything. And I got this for 50 cents.
Really?
And it's metal. It's real
dang.
metal. So anyway, I just
Angelo's salivating right now. So
No, look.
That is.
Oh, you got
cool.
one too?
Oh wow. Where are you guys getting
All right,
those
Jim.
things?
Jim, I need you to 3D print one of those, buddy.
I did a photo comic during Christmas where it's my Goofy Joe with the red hair. He always gets into trouble. He was mailing a letter to Santa, and I had this mailbox.
That's cool.
So it's in that. You'll have to look it up.
I'm gonna have to find that. I'm gonna have to find that. Yep,
I think I remember that one.
Yeah.
We got about 3 more minutes left, Terry. I got to ask you this last question, okay, before I let you go. Give me one good childhood memory regarding your toys. Doesn't have to be G.I. Joe's, but just I think you said it with that Fort Apache, but I don't know if you got something better than that one.
Ask it again.
Is there any childhood memory regarding your toys, whether it's just playing with them with a neighbor or a Christmas morning? I think you kind of covered it with that Fort Apache. But.
Well, I think one childhood memory that comes out to me was when we went to California. The kid across the street got Ben-Hur.
The playset, yeah.
Yes, and I was just I just had gotten the Fort Apache, and then we're in California now, and this guy's got Ben-Hur, but Ben-Hur became that whole story and movie and everything became one of my favorites. And I even contemplating the other day because I saw a reproduction of some guy has made a reproduction of the Ben-Hur. Because the original ones, they're up into the thousands of dollars.
Yeah.
But I saw one the other day on one of the websites, and I almost bought it. So Ben-Hur.
So I'm not familiar with the play set. Was that
That was a Mark's play set?
Yes, it's the stadium with all the people sitting in it, and got lions and chariot races and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. That's
Mark,
cool.
give me a good childhood memory before we go.
Geez, I remember Christmas, the Joes. I mean, first box Joe ever got. And, let me back that up. Christmas was good, but the best one was we went to a toy show in small town Selma, Central California, named Harry's. And it was the change of the painted head to the fuzzy head era, about 1970. So I got an adventure. Mom let me get skydive to danger, the parachute, and then he had some painted heads. Harry had them. He goes, "Here, I'll give you one of these, just because the kids don't like them." So I got a painted head, and he says, "Here, and take the uniform with it." So I got a deep sea diver too. So I walk out of this place, with a little bit of everything, and that's the story I tell a lot. Was you go to get one, and you walk out with an armful, and I was hooked.
Yeah.
Nice. Peter, you got anything for us? Childhood memory?
Childhood memory. Yeah, actually, I can remember one. Remember when I guess I was like maybe 8 or so, and my father, who never interested in anything I did, took an interest in my G.I. Joes, and he wanted to build like a base or a house for them. So he went and he was working on it, and I'm watching him the whole time. He builds this awesome thing with hinge doors, and it was awesome. It was really cool, and it was right around 4th of July. And it was a couple of days later, and I got a lot of older brothers, and they grabbed that thing, and they brought it outside, and I'm following along with them. and they're loading it up with firecrackers and all kinds of stuff, and then lighting it off inside. And I'm like, oh, it's gonna get destroyed. But my father built it so well, it actually held up. So
wow, very cool.
And I remember he actually came out and seen what was going on, and I felt really bad.
Angelo, I know you got a ton of stories. Just give us one.
I do. You know, I don't know if you got enough time here for all my stories.
I know one, man. Actually, we don't, but you can go ahead.
Did I tell you the story when I went to Two Guys and then we went to Italy? Did I tell you that one before?
Yeah. You threw him off the balcony. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't throw him. They threw him.
They
And
threw
I was
him.
really
Yeah.
upset. I'll tell you a sad story. The sad story was it was getting around the time where people didn't believe anymore in Santa Claus. And since we have Santa here, I wanted to share this story. And I was adamant that there was a Santa, and I wanted to believe, and my sister, who was younger than I, was like, no, there's not. No, there's not. So mommy and daddy buy this stuff. And I'm like, no, Donna, no. And she says, come upstairs. So my parents' room was upstairs, and they had their closet was a walk-in closet that was part where the ceiling, the roof line was, and now it's a dormer for another bedroom. Well, we used to go in there all the time and hide behind my mother's coats and stuff. It was cool. So she brings me up there, and behind the coats was an AFX track that I got for Christmas. And I was absolutely devastated. That was like the first time that I realized, I'm like, oh my goodness. And from that, for something to happen after that, because that made me want to believe even more. So I would like purposely do things or believe things to try to keep it still alive, that belief. But that was a bummer. That was a total bummer for me. But now I'm like, the spirit is, it's in everyone. It's not just the tangible. It is all the goodness and wonderful things that Santa Claus stands for, kind of thing. There you go, Terry. How's that? Is that a good plug for Santa?
Yeah. You got time for one more story?
Absolutely. Yeah, Jim. Unless Jim wants to give us one, and you don't care, Jim.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
We don't have
We'll finish up with Terry. We'll finish up with Terry for tonight. Go ahead, Jim.
Oh, okay.
I don't mean to take your place.
No, that's all good. We used to have a toy store I'm in Texas. It's real rural here. The nearest town's, miles away or whatever. And we would make a Saturday trip into town to do some grocery shopping and that sort of thing. This place was called Cleve's Toy Ranch, of course, the Texas thing. And I can still remember the layout of this place. When you walked in, the center of the store was a big the counter was painted up like a drum, like a wooden soldier, whatever. And right next to the counter was the G.I. Joe section. And it was all the different box sets. And I remember standing there and my mom getting really impatient with me because I was just mesmerized by, all the different sets. And they had model trains were big back then. Oh, yeah. And so they had this huge model train set up. And then they had the model airplanes up on the ceiling and all that kind of stuff, because the back of the store was really kind of geared towards a hobbyist. And in the back of the store was the busted package, the seconds, the clearance section, and all that kind of stuff. And they had the soldiers of the world, the German soldiers of the world, and they were, they just had them piled up. That's my childhood memory of going to Cleve's Toy Ranch.
How many of those Joes did you snag when you?
Oh man, I begged Mom for but we got presents on Christmas and birthdays. That was it.
Yep, Christmas and birthday. That was me too. All right, Terry, it's all up to you, brother, to bring it home.
All right, it's a Santa story. I was the Chick-fil-A Santa, and I had to be there at 9:30.
Oh.
And sit in the chair, and all the kids came in and ate their breakfast. One little girl did not want to come over there. She just no. And so her dad came over and said, she don't believe in Santa no more. She's just, that's it. She's done. And so I went over and I knelt down beside her and I said, what is it you want for Christmas? And she said, I don't think it matters. And I said, go ahead, you can tell me. And she said, okay. So she told me something, and then they got their food and they left. Well, after I'm finished there, I run out, get in my car, and I head to the mall because I'm the mall Santa too. So I run in there and get in the chair, and I'm sitting there about 10 minutes, and I hear this little girl going, "He is Santa! He is Santa!"
Got there in time, baby. You
She
saved the
saw me
day.
there in Chick-fil-A, and now she saw me in the mall. She believed.
It's got to be, man. It's got to be.
Excellent. Great
Hey,
story.
Terry, I want to thank you for being on tonight. I know we're a little bit over our time schedule, but it was great having you on. Hope to get you
Thanks,
on in a
Terry.
future one if possible.
Thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I'll tell you what, maybe we can do a Christmas special and get you on as
Yeah.
your alter ego, that your AKA Santa.
Yeah.
That would be
Do a
cool.
Santa
That would be
Christmas
cool.
special. So,
All right.
Peter, I'm glad we got you back. Your internet's back on. Oh no,
Thanks to have me.
yeah, bro, absolutely.
Sometimes it's on.
Sometimes. And Mark, we got to get you back with all the old guys, well, the seasoned veterans, and talk about vintage GI Joes. Okay.
Yeah, they're always happy to come on, Paul.
All right, brother. Hey guys,
Great.
have a good night, and everybody, thank you for chatting in tonight. Have a great week, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Oh.